Okay, we're at White Sulphur Springs today in White Springs. We're at Florida's original tourist destination, which is what it's become to be known as and designated. This is the remains of the spring house slash hotel that was built in the early 20th century around and over these springs. This was I don't want to say discovered, I hate that word, but the people, there were Europeans that bought this place. Their name was Sheffield. They found out this spring was here, and it had they believed it had great medicinal powers. For millennia, various tribes, aboriginal tribes, pre-Columbian Indians, used these springs, drank, bathed here, believing it had medicinal powers because of the sulfur. I really don't smell it now, and I hadn't smelled it earlier. There was a very strong sulfur smell coming up here at one point, apparently, which is why they call it White Sulphur Springs. I just don't smell it as powerful as I think what it was back in the day. This is the original spring house. They're on either side, and we see ruins, and we're gonna go check this out later. On either side, there was a hotel that came right out onto this level here. It was built even with this, and again, that was in the early 20th century. From 1835 until the early 20th century, there was a log house built here, and people would come from wherever to view it. You see pictures of this place at different levels. There's different levels of balconies, for lack of a better term, and you can see where these holes are now is where those wouldn't have been 2x4s, but whatever they would have cut to brace that, those levels would have been placed in these walls here. And these pictures are very interesting. You can see here, I don't know if that's a really good picture of it or not. Right. Yeah, I can see that pretty decent in the screen. That's a cutout in the coquina to have a support, a wooden support placed there. So it's just an extraordinary piece of Florida history. People believe that these springs would heal them of all sorts of maladies at a time when medicine did not really understand what caused those diseases and infirmities to begin with. Yeah, we're going to definitely go and check that out over there for sure. That's very cool. And you can see it's right on the Suwannee. You see the spring itself emptying out here in the bottom. Incredible view. And at a time when much earlier, in a much earlier age, there would have been, more animals around. Animals would have congregated in these areas as well. Maybe not right at this spring, but certainly along the banks. And you wouldn't have had a bridge going across it. We're not at a low point, but this is not the highest that the river can get either. So that's the spring itself. We're standing on top of the original spring house. Up here, on either side, again, like I mentioned, on either side there would have been a hotel rooms, all the things that they had. There was a lot of different infirmaries, things like that, stores, whatever. There's some ruins right up there. We're going to check that out. That's pretty exciting. But first, we're going to go down and see some of the foundation and where the flow comes out of. And this is right, this area you see right in front of us here, this little path, that's part of the Florida Trail, so that's pretty exciting for Brenda. She loves the concept of the Florida Trail. There's something there. I don't know what in the heck that was. It's curved. There's some, you can't see it in any of the old pictures, but that must have been something as well. Hi there. So now we're going to go down and look at see the foundation. I don't know what they would have put in the coquina to stabilize it, unless it was just straight poured coquina. Can't really tell. Maybe they poured it in, yeah, I guess they would have poured it in levels like they do the, yeah, and once it dried, yeah, I guess so. Or maybe they would have chipped block. It looks very straight, some of it looks very straight. Either they poured it in levels and built it up, or they bricked it out. Here, look, these almost look like bricks right here. Like there's a separation here and here, and I don't know if that's just a crack. It might just be a crack. They might just poured 2 or 3 inch. Yeah, it looks like they did. They just poured. I don't know if they used rebar. I mean, they couldn't use rebar. They didn't have that technology back then. But it looks like they poured courses of varying sizes and let it dry and pour some more, let it dry and pour some more, that kind of thing. It's a substantial coquina structure. Not on the level of Castillo de San Marcos or anything, but pretty darn substantial. Right here on the river, of course. This is where it flows out. It looks like inside there was a track. Some kind of a wooden track right there. Maybe they had doors or some sort of sliding doors that they put in there to hold the water in and increase the level. I don't know, maybe. Here's some really neat things. There's some evidence of it's a bolt and an indentation in the coquina. Here's some wood sticking out of it, so obviously they had more supports coming out of the sides. Maybe those are the original supports, and the ones above them are and here's all across the sides here. We see that. Very exciting. Over 100-year-old coquina structure. Very, very cool. Here's some coquina block. Oh, I think I wanted to show this too. Here's some evidence of some pipes, some sort of support, maybe fences or guardrails or something of that nature. Who knows? Here's some, looks like bolts of some kind that would have held something, like a plate or some sort of a support. Maybe they had something that came out above and like a balcony type situation or something. I don't know. It's very cool to watch the water spill out. There's some coquina block from that period. Alright, we're gonna, oh, that's a survey marker of some kind. Neat. FDOT, so that's not period, that's fairly recent. Here are some, no, well, yeah, okay, yeah, this is some coquina here, poured. And right here where we are, right in front of us here, there would have been according to the pictures, there would have been half the hotel would have been on this side. Here's some foundations of that. so we know there's ruins on this little hill next to it, and those are certainly from the original hotel. Okay, and up above, up on this little hill here, are the ruins of the hotel. I think our best access point's going to be over here. I don't know if these were steps or, I mean, they certainly look like steps, but they're very, yeah, I guess these were steps down to the water. And you got a picture, I mean, this would have been on any given day, every day of the week. More so probably during winter. It would have been just a hub of activity, packed, booked. People would have come and stayed in other areas to come here during the day, people who couldn't necessarily get a hotel room. This is part of it. This is an old foundation from back in the day of this side of the hotel. Wow, this is pretty exciting. Don't have any idea what would have been here. That's pretty neat. Wood on top. You can see right there where a course of the coquina has been chipped away. And this is again all just straight poured coquina. There's bolts coming out of here. I'm not sure what this would have housed. Maybe a pump house of some kind. Maybe sewage. I don't know. No idea, no way of telling. I'm gonna get up here and see what I can see though. Oh, very neat, very exciting. So that's it, that's the, oh, here's a neat little slice in the coquina. Anywhere you see this, that's where supports would have been held. Pretty cool, pretty cool. There's another one right there. Very neat. I don't know, just exciting stuff for sure. Okay, so there's some over there. We're going to shut this part of it down for this particular area. We're in White Springs. These are the White Sulphur Springs Bathhouse ruins.